Hey, Megan Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in today's show, the big interview is a Phase 1 reopening across Limerick City and County, and I chatted to some people who have opened up their businesses. First up, though, the top stories in Limerick, and live at the drive-in is coming to the Docklands. Gavin James is taking his gig on the road, and you can drive in and watch it live, and it is brought to you by Dolan's. Next up, Team Limerick Cleanup are running a biodiversity online competition, and I spoke to Aina Nilovna all about it.
Show, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Aina. Aina, I've been watching you for years on television, so it's an absolute honour to be chatting to you.
It's lovely to be talking to yourself on this wonderful new technology. I hope I'm managing it well enough.
I know, isn't it so? It's so funny how now Zoom has become the norm. We're all doing it. It's like all the TV stations, radio stations, online work. Like everyone is using it now.
And it's great. Will we ever go back to the old ways, I wonder?
Yeah, I know, and I think that too. I think it's great though. It just shows that like we're able to chat to each other now, and I've been able to chat to people from like pretty much anywhere in the world because of this. So it's really, in one way, it's really connecting everyone as well.
That's this indeed. Well, anyway, I'm here to tell you about biodiversity because this week is National Biodiversity Week. And every year this week is all to do with celebrating nature. And of course, because of the way things are this year, the big Biodiversity Day is actually going to be Friday rather than having events for the whole week. So what Limerick is doing is they are having events for the whole week, if you like, because you, the people of Limerick, are the events. What you're doing is you're going out and you're taking the garden, or whether it's nearby or whether it's within your 5 kilometre distancing, you can go out and do all of this. And this is being done by Team Limerick Cleanup because they're running this, and they have loads and loads of prizes for everybody, which is really good.
I saw that there's some super prizes. I was supposed to have to know for Team Limerick Cleanup, one of the biggest events we have in our calendar year with them is Good Friday, when everyone gets out and cleans up all the rubbish around the city and county. And they have to say it's been incredible years on the amount of rubbish they've collected, but obviously this year it had to be cancelled. But it's great to see something like this. And I think we touched on it there about how we're using Zoom, and this is so how people can use social media to get involved with them, biodiversity. And I think that's one thing I've noticed, and I'm loving it even around the city centre, is how they are leaving the grass to grow wild, and that's what we need to see.
Well, what they're doing is they're not mowing it so that the wild flowers that are in among the grass will actually grow. I mean, would you grow if your head was chopped off?
Well, that's very true. And there's a road, Condell Road out here, and there's dog daisies all over it, and it's fabulous.
Well, what you have to do now for this competition is go out and stay very quietly beside one of those big daisies and wait until an insect lands on it, and then get your picture. And then you have both the flower and the lovely insect that's come to the flower, because the insect is coming because the insect really thinks this is the pub and it's coming for a drink of nectar. It doesn't say to itself, I'm going to pollinate the flowers, I'm going to be a good insect. Couldn't give a hoot. What it's doing is it's going for a jar. Off to the daisy, sticks in its head, gets a drink, says that's very nice, I'd like another one, flies to the next flower, does it again, and all the pollen that was on and stuck to it, because they're big hairy insects, goes from one to the other. So you, with your camera sitting watching this, could get lovely action shots, not just of the daisy, which is always very nice, but you'd also get the insect as well, and you'd spend time and be patient and look at it, and you'd be aware of how important it is to have these places for our pollinating insects. And they can be flies, they can be hoverflies, they can be bees, there's lots of different ones. So you could do. So that would be one way of taking your picture, and that would be great. I mean, this was launched on Friday last, and already we've loads of pictures already been sent in to the various social media outlets, and we can talk about how you send them in a moment. But we've had pictures of snails, because obviously people went out when it was wet and they got the snail and they waited, and the Shelly Pookie had all his horns sticking out. Do you know that snails have their noses on their horns? So they have 4 noses, and all these horns are sticking out. It's a really good shot. That's a lovely one. And there's ones of dandelions, the big dandelion clocks, and you blow them and you can tell the time. They're lovely when they're in focus, and there's some lovely ones of those in. And people have been looking at places they've made, habitats they've actually created. So you could have bug hotels, you could have places where insects can come and have food for themselves, or shelter. And these are all things that you do. So the biodiversity competition is to get pictures, but it's also, and really important, is to make you aware of the different areas where wildlife live in Limerick, in your garden, shore as well included.
And it's incredible too, because I think it's to get people outside. You know, we're probably looking at this week, we actually have nice weather promised, so there's no excuse not to get out.
Oh, well, absolutely not. But I mean, even if the weather isn't good, I mean, wildlife has to be out in all weathers. So, you know, you get lovely pictures of things in the sunshine, that's gorgeous. But what does a bird do when it rains? What happens when it gets wet? Do all the snails and slugs come slithering out? So the weather is no excuse now. Obviously, it's easier if the weather is lovely. But you know, we want everybody doing it. And it isn't just the grown-ups. I mean, grown-ups have their mobile phones and off they go, but there's lots of teenagers, and we hear nothing, only the bored teenagers, the poor things. What are they going to do? Well, I'm telling you what to do. Oh, teenagers of Limerick, out you go and get wonderful pictures, because teenagers have a great eye for things.
Yeah.
And they need necessarily be beautiful pictures that you'd have in an art gallery because it's beautiful. You could have one that's in an art gallery because it's quirky, because it's interesting. Something is doing something that's curious, and that you say, I didn't know that. And so you want to be observing. So teenagers can get lovely pictures because they have great patience to be doing this. And of course, children, of course, that they're always so they can work with the buttons and get the pictures and send up the best ones. It's good to have them in focus. Sometimes it's hard to get something in focus. So take a whole load and then edit them out and, you know, make them big and change the colour and Photoshop them and make them look absolutely gorgeous. Now, Limerick is full of wildlife because you have the Shannon, you have the sea, you have the city itself, you have the city walls, you have the gardens. There's loads of places where you can actually get pictures of birds up with electric wires. Take a picture of that and zoom in on it, and you see maybe it's a swallow, maybe it's a starling. It looks a black yolk if you just look at it. But if you take it and you with your picture and then, you know, close up on it, you wouldn't know what you might see in actual fact, that you can see more with your camera than you can with your own eyes. So this is great. And of course, when you do that, then they all get sent in, and there's very important judges judging them. I'm one of the very important judges judging them. But I'm not the most important one, because we have people that are judging. I'm just looking at my list of the judges now, and we have Des Cahill, of course, who's from RTE as well. We have Roisin Upton, who's the international hockey player from Limerick, and so she's going to be a judge. And of course, who else would we couldn't possibly have a competition without the hurling team mentioned. And we have Declan Hannon, who's the Limerick hurling captain, and he's going to be a judge as well. So we've all got to be impressed by these wonderful pictures and see what is the talent in Limerick that's going to be displayed for us. So I really reckon, I'm looking forward to this. I've got some already and they're really whetting my appetite. So I'm looking forward for more to be coming in actual fact. Now I'm just looking at my piece of paper here, and it says, to enter, you're urged to follow the Team Limerick Cleanup Facebook page or Instagram account, and that's at Team Limerick Cleanup. And you should post your photos using the hashtag Biodiversity TLC and tag Limerick Cleanup. But people will know all of this, and you can get the information on the teamlimerickcleanup.ie. That's the website. So we want to have thousands and thousands. I want to be judging these for the next 3 weeks at least. So the closing day Friday the 5th of June. So it's not just Biodiversity Day this Friday. You have a whole 2 weeks. You have the bank holiday weekend. You have the good weather, you might have some wind, you might have some rain, you could maybe take the same picture on a good day and on a day that's not so good, and see what different things you might notice. Even I'm looking here now at my own window, and there's pigeons over there on the roof. Now, pigeons, I mean, I ask you, the pigeons, you couldn't believe what the pigeons are up to. They're chasing each other around the roof, they're leaping on top of each other. One is pretending she loves them, and then she flies away in the middle of it. These are the same old pigeons that I've been seeing for years. I never saw such carry on in my life. And if I had a lens now on these, only I don't live in Limerick, I'm up in Dublin, I'm telling you, I could have the X-rated pictures of these pigeons if I wasn't careful. So this is the kind of thing we want, to observe and take snaps.
My balcony actually has got lovely cobwebs in it from the spiders, and I actually have to say I enjoy like seeing what they create, because they're just I suppose they're just magic. And then sometimes when there's a bit of the sunset or sunrise and just hits off the cobwebs, it's just beautiful.
And if you had some kind of a bottle, you know, a very light spray like mist, and you sort of mist over your cobwebs, they really light up and glisten. So not only have you the lovely cobweb shapes, because each spider species makes a different shaped cobweb. They're not all the same at all by any means. So if you sprayed it nicely, and then you got the lovely little droplets glistering in the sunlight, you not only would have a cobweb, but you'd have a work of art as well. So that would be something to do. And also you can do things like lure in the wildlife. So you can put out maybe a jar of jam or saucer full of marmalade and see what land on it and wait with your camera. Or you can go out at night and look in your garden at night with your torch to see what appears. You can put out a a pitfall trap in the garden, which is dig a hole, put down your jam jar, leave it there, and in the morning you see what fell into it. You might get a big black beetle, or you might get something like a bee or something like this. You wouldn't get a bee at night, obviously, but I mean, you get a beetle, you get a spider in your jar. And if you have them fairly cool, they won't run away while you get your picture. I'm not saying put them in the freezer or anything, but you know, if you have them inside for a bit and they're not getting too warm, because they're all cold-blooded, all those insects, and they need the sunlight to warm them up. So if you could get them before they could run away too quickly, you'd be in business. And you can't believe when you go up to detail, the detail of their eyes, the detail of the colour on their wings. All of these creatures have lovely, lovely colours if we went to look at them properly. So you can always lure them to you with a light, with some food, and wait there sneakily with your camera to see what arrives. You could be all day getting one shot. You could be all week getting one shot. And we've great prizes too. There's loads of prizes. So, you know, you could win all kinds of lovely things that you didn't even know you wanted until you got them in the prize.
I know, I saw there's a Fitbit in there now, and my Fitbit's about to give up, so I'll
About
tell
to
you.
expire, yes indeed. I'm just looking at the list. GoPros, Fitbits, camera equipment, garden centre vouchers. I think I'll move to Limerick forthwith and immediately so I can apply too.
I'll have to head up now in and go out with my camera and see what I can get. And I'll have to warn my housemates that I may be on the balcony tonight with a torch trying to get photos of some wildlife as well.
Absolutely, indeed. Why not? And I'm looking forward. Their names will be on them, but you can't be chatting up the judges now. You have to take an orderly queue. That'll be great. You know, there's loads in already, and I want loads more. So get snapping.
As we said, Team Limerick Cleanup for all the details. It runs until June 5th. Hashtag Biodiversity TLC to get involved. Aina, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you and to learn more about biodiversity. And I can't even wait now to see the photos.
Good stuff.
Now to our Out and About section, I spoke to Martina, who is known as Fit by Tina, all about her new recipe book. First up though, Elaine Tuffy told me all about Down Syndrome Limerick's 21-kilometre challenge.
It's a Limerick Post Show with me, Meghann Scully. I'm delighted now to be joined by Ellen Tuffy, who is the chairperson of Down Syndrome Limerick. Thank you so much for chatting to us on the show.
Thanks for having me, Meghann. It's lovely to talk to you.
I know it's very difficult times. I know a lot of people are struggling. Fundraising efforts are very low. But before we get into the challenge that you have, can you tell us about Down Syndrome Limerick and the work that you do?
Yeah, Down Syndrome Limerick is a relatively small local charity here in Limerick, and we're based out in Castletroy. We have approximately 200 members, which varies in ages from newborn babies right through into adulthood. And we provide a lot of supports and services for children and adults with Down syndrome. So, for example, we offer a peer-to-peer support group for parents that have a newborn baby with Down syndrome. It can be a very overwhelming time for them. So we offer support in that way. And then things like vital services, like speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, access to those type of therapies can be quite difficult in disability sector. So we provide those services to our members on a regular basis. And then we have support programs in place for SNAs and teachers for children that are school age, and right through then into adulthood. We run a very successful adult education program, which provides adults with a skill set that I suppose allows them to then go on and get meaningful employment in the region. And we work with employers to get jobs for them as well. So lots going on. It's a busy little branch and quite a varied mix of things going on, but it is important. You know, I'm a parent myself. I have a little boy, Charlie. He's 3 years old, and we would be lost only for the charity. You know, he goes for his speech and language and occupational therapies and everything there, and lots of fun things as well, like art classes. You know, we run a youth club, drama, dance, cycle lessons, swim lessons, you name it. We've probably done it at some stage in Down Syndrome Limerick. So yeah, it's great. It's a great little charity.
It does. It sounds incredible, and the work you do obviously is so important to all your members. Obviously, you said now we are in lockdown. The country is just in phase 1 of reopening. Charity and fundraising events obviously are all completely gone in I suppose in real life, but the great thing now is because of social media and because of online, there are other ways to do challenges. So can you tell us about the challenge that Down Syndrome Limerick have going on?
So like that, yeah, you know, a lot of our big fundraisers would have been cancelled, and our funds have been completely decimated, and we're not alone in that. Like a lot of charities are experiencing that. So we came up with the concept of the virtual run. So we have organised 21 kilometres in 21 days. So it gives people of all abilities the opportunity to get involved. So you can walk a kilometre a day, or if you want to run 5 kilometres or 10 kilometres a day, whatever floats your boat. So it starts on Monday, next Monday, the 25th, and goes right through until the 14th of June. And then at your leisure or at your ability, you do as little or as much as you want on a daily basis until you complete your 21 kilometres. So it's great, and we have got great engagement from it. You know, obviously the people of Limerick and Munster are great to support the charity, but even further afield, you know, we have people, I think probably representatives from most counties in Ireland at the moment as well, and right through, like we've people signed up as far away as Australia and New Zealand, in the States as well. So it's great. It's really, it's a great challenge, and you know, we've been using the hashtag Challenge Without Borders because we are trying to create that community effort, and we've seen that, I think, in COVID, you know, communities getting involved, helping their neighbours, and that's kind of, I suppose, what we're trying to foster with this as well. People just getting out and finding, I suppose, a bond over doing a virtual event like this. So it's been great, yeah.
I think it's brilliant as well because, you know, it's achievable to do 21 kilometres, and as you said, you can walk it, you can run it, and I think it's great as well to see people on social media sharing it because, you know, I think that's how we all encourage each other to take part. It's like you'll see someone else share it, and then, you know, it kind of encourages more and more people. And where can we find more information about the event and where to get involved?
So yeah, we're on across all the social media sites, so Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, but the registration for the 21k and 21 days is DSL21k.com. So easy enough to remember, DSL being Down Syndrome Limerick, DSL21k.com.
Ellen Tuffy, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you and to learn more about the work that you do at Down Syndrome Limerick, and all I can say is the very best luck with the challenge. I've no doubt people in Limerick and Munster will get behind you for the 21 kilometres.
Thanks a million, Meghan. Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
The Limerick Post Show with me, Meghann, Scully, and delighted now to be joined by Martina Hatnishin. Did I say that right? No, try, tell me so how do I pronounce it?
Hatnishin.
Hatnishin.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect.
Good. We got it, Martina. How are you getting on?
Great. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very exciting time for you. I should let people know that on Instagram you're known as Fit by Tina, and you are now an author.
Oh, yes, I am. My first mini cookbook is out. It's on Amazon, and I'm so excited. I didn't expect this Corona lockdown to look like this, but I'm very happy. I'm very happy that does, yeah.
I have the book here. I got it on Amazon. It's on my Kindle on my phone, and there's so many amazing recipes. And what I love about it as well is you've included snacks, and because for me, I think a lot of people, snacking is kind of where we eat a lot of sugar and a lot of, you know, I suppose, treats that maybe have too many treats. And I think the snacks as well are really great. You have some fabulous ones in there, which I'm dying to try.
Yeah, it really is. When I first thought of it, like, every one of us has this little black book with the recipes, right? Like my mom has it, you probably have one where we write down all the recipes and everything. And as I started to work with my clients, they always asking, oh, can you give me a healthy cake? Can you give me a healthy snack bar that I can do at home? And every time I would look on the internet for a recipe, it would be such a long recipe, and you would get lost, you know? So the first thing I thought of is I need to do this in a simple way. So what I did is just to include everything, like you can have a snack, a dessert, dinner, everything in that mini cookbook. So when you're out of the idea and you don't have a lot of time to cook, or you're not an expert in the kitchen, you can just go and scroll, and it's really simple and easy to follow recipes in there. Yeah.
That's what I love about it, because I find I think what you said there is sometimes I find a recipe and I'm like, oh great, I'll do this, and then I go through the list of ingredients and I'm like, I don't even know what that is, and then I then I might go to the shop and buy all the ingredients, but I might then only use them once, and then then they go off. But what I love about your recipes, as you said, they're easy to follow. They're ingredients that you can get really easy in your local shop as well, and they're healthy and they're tasty, which I think a lot of people think that you can't have a tasty and healthy meal, but you actually can.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, and the other thing is that every recipe you can just change a few ingredients and you can have completely different meal for the next day. So that's great too.
It's absolutely incredible. I should say, as you said, it's on Amazon, Bite of Health, and it's there. Is there 22 recipes in it?
21, yeah.
21 recipes, yeah. And I have to say, they're so good. But I want to talk more about you, your fitness, and I know you do personal training as well. So can you tell us how you got into personal training?
My God, it's a long journey for me. It started as a hobby, actually, with my own transformation. I lost 15 kg, 2012, that was. I was always tall and skinny, actually. And then after my grandma died, I just started to be an emotional eater. And it was, you know yourself, you're very tall. And when we eat, you can't really see it so fast as on the like other people. And then I just gained 10 kg, and I didn't even realize when that happened. It was really hard time for me. And then one day I just looked at the mirror and I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do, who to ask. So many information everywhere. So a friend of mine has a gym, and I just joined. It's where I met my husband, actually, the next year. Yeah, and after my own transformation, a lot of my friends asked, how did you do that? And it really is simple. All you need is to work out, and you need to go into calorie deficit. It's everywhere, but it's not easy to follow that, especially if you're struggling mentally too. I was depressed. It wasn't easy, but I had my family, I had support of my friends and everyone. So after I made my own transformation, I was like, I feel so good. And then my sister-in-law asked me, how did you do that? So I helped her, and she lost 10 kg in a month.
Wow.
And I was like, this is what I want to do. And I was doing that as a hobby. So I qualified, and I had 3 boot camps, so in 3 different locations in Croatia, but I had like a full-time job, so I didn't really do that but I always wanted, you know. When we moved to Ireland, I found my first job, and it was hard because I didn't have a network here, you know.
Yeah.
You need to know a lot of people. So until this Corona, I was just helping my friends, my family, friends of my friends, and it was just a small hobby. And then when all of this started, I was just, maybe this is the sign, you know. I need to do what I love. And I started, and it's unbelievable. The feedback, the messages, the support. Now I have my cookbook. I'm really so happy.
It's absolutely incredible. I think, yeah, you've made such a positive out of this moment, and I think, you know, I said you've got a cookbook out now, and you're taking on more and more clients all the time. I follow you on social media, so I see it all, and it is great. And you know, I think it's just brilliant because I think a lot of people are struggling to work out at home, and a lot of people are lacking motivation, which is totally understandable. And I think it's nice to be able to have someone that they can talk to that can motivate them and just kind of help them along. Whether, you know, I always say to people, even if it's just for like to start on a fitness journey, whether you're, you know, already fit but you want to get fitter, or whether you just completely just don't want to leave the house at all, but you just need someone to help you to take that first step. So I think it's brilliant what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, not every day is perfect.
Yeah.
My every day is not the same. It's not perfect. I struggle too, but we've been thrown out of this comfort zone, and we had our routines broken, and we had to adapt and start all over. But we need to focus on things like you can control. That's the only thing. Yeah. And we need to celebrate like the small wins, you know, every day. Yay, I did that. I did a 20-minute workout or whatever. We need to just to focus on that. And I think that can really help.
Absolutely. And for me as well, the weekend is like I love the weekends because I go to my favorite restaurants now and get a takeaway meal, and I come home and I have my starter, my dessert, and my main, and I have a lovely glass of wine, and it's such a lovely treat. Then it's like it is the little things like that gets me excited now at the weekend, knowing I can get myself a lovely big dinner.
Yeah, I made myself a routine, like during the week, Monday to Friday, I'm working, I'm doing meal plans, I'm working with clients, I have sessions and everything. Weekends are reserved for my husband, for my son, and we're really enjoying that. So when you have and well, this shall pass too. I hope so. And then in a few months we're gonna look at it, and then we're gonna say, we survived that too. So
Exactly. In a few months' time, we'll all be able to go out together, hug each other, and go for coffees and everything. Martina, Fit by Tina on Instagram. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you and to learn about your cookbook, Bite of Health, which is on Amazon right now. 21 gorgeous recipes, and thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Meghann. Bye.
Hey, Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. We're here on Cruiser Street in Limerick City, where phase 1 has begun of reopening our country. You still have to stay within 5 kilometres of your home, but you can now meet in groups up to 4. Essential services are now open, building sites are back open, and the world is starting to return to somewhat normality. We're here now in Bedford Row, where it is, of course, a little bit busier than usual as the country reopens, and there are plenty of works taking place. A lot of people out walking, people getting food and getting groceries and going out and about their daily lives. We're down at the Riverside in Limerick City, and as you can see, it is a lot busier than usual as phase 1 is going on. And Simon Harris has said that only essential services and getting out for exercise is what you should be doing, and you don't need to go to the shops just because they're open. I'm here in the buttery at the Browsers, joined by Joe Cleary of Bumpey. Well, I have to say, I first came across Bumpey at Munster Games, I think it was quite a while ago now, and now more than ever, Bumpey is pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, we're very busy at the moment. Our product is designed to get people to buy online and buy online via mobile phone. So we were always concentrated on stadiums and event centres. But as stadiums and event centres are now pretty much out of action, we had a versatile product, so we moved into retail and hospitality sectors. So we're getting a lot of businesses back open now by being able to offer an online service. So being able to offer it the likes of click and collect, beat the queue, or delivery services. So, yeah.
I think a lot of people were certainly missing food and takeaways during all of the lockdown stage, and once that place could start opening again, as you said, do a click and collect service, I've noticed a lot of places now are absolutely chock-a-block because so many people want to get their food.
Yeah, I think people are sick of cooking at home, possibly some of it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's good businesses reopening with click and collect, and it's great to get. It's probably not the same level of business because people have to change their model from being a sit down and takeaway to maybe being 80-90% takeaway. But it's working for us. We're very busy. We're trying to get more and more people on board. We're looking to hire people now before the end of the year, get our team up to about 10, and we also have a few places in the UK looking to take on our service as well. So it's good. It's a pity, unfortunately, that we were getting busy even before COVID, but I suppose this has just been an accelerant for us now in that people need to get online, to get payments online, get order systems online, so that they don't have to deal with cash. Especially cash is definitely something that people are pulling out of their business. So the likes of click and collect and beat the queue and those type of services, they're very important now for people, so they don't have to handle cash.
So I think as we go through all the phases, what's going to start happening is I think it's going to be 50-50. Half of the population are going to be happy enough to go back in and sit down in restaurants and in cafes and bars. But I think you're going to have a huge amount of people that won't want to, that will be still nervous and will probably stay at home for the foreseeable.
Yeah, I think it's just going to change buying behaviour in general. I think it's actually, you can see it from the retail sales now, even from online shops and things like that. A lot of the retail stores are seeing huge surges in retail. Speaking to some of the courier firms, it's like Christmas for courier firms almost every day at the moment. People's buying habits are going to change. They're going to get more comfortable buying online, and that's why it's very important to have an online presence. It's very easy and quick to get set up on that, and it'll definitely add to your business. What we're finding with our customers is, even when they reopen, this will be almost like another asset for their business, so that they can do more trade, they can do sit down and take out as well, and get, I suppose, as much as possible out of their business. So, but it is going to change things.
I suppose this whole COVID situation has been very negative for a lot of businesses, for a lot of people, personal life, everything. For Bumpey, though, I suppose it's been so positive, as you mentioned, because you've gotten so busy so fast. Now, I suppose, though, you weren't probably ready for it.
We have a versatile product. Yeah. That it's mainly mobile based, and it was versatile, and we were doing a bit of retail in the UK before COVID. So our product was ready. It's just that we had to scale pretty quickly and pretty rapidly. All right, yeah. But it's okay. We're able to cope. It's good. We're getting businesses online in like 48 hours.
Wow.
So it's very important to get people up and running, because we see that ourselves. They're customers. They want to get their people online. They want to get their own customers back into their shops. So we actually feel it very important for us to be able to develop that service so that we can get people trading again, because it's very important for cities and for towns and all that. We've places all over Ireland at this stage now, and it's very important for even rural towns and cities to get people back out, get people buying, get people spending.
I have to say I love it now that because I was getting to the stage where I was so fed up of cooking for myself that now that I can order online via Bumpey as well, it's brilliant having that service there available. Like I had Tuscany there recently, I know Mother Burger, there's so many really great places. How can people, if there's businesses out there that need to get online, how can they get involved?
They get involved, you can just head to our website bumpey.com, bumpey.com, and where the name comes from is looking to bump the queue. So we're looking to bump the pandemic at the moment now by getting people back online. But if they just head over to bumpey.com, they can see some of the sites we've done. They can contact us through there, or they can hit us up on any social media as well. But yeah, we'd be delighted to help, and it is important to get people online now because it'll be another asset to their business even post-pandemic.
Joe Cleary, thank you so much for chatting to us on the Limerick Post Show, and I said I'm already looking forward to this weekend and what I'm going to order online for myself.
Lovely, thanks Meghann.
We're now here in Sambros on Thomas Street and joined by Gary. Now I have to say, obviously looking much different because you had to completely change the way you, I suppose, sell your food.
Yeah, 100%. Due to the pandemic, we can't have sit-down customers and stuff like that, so we've actually had to just split the whole restaurant in half and take away collection only, I'm afraid. But, we've got to do what we've got to do, so we've got to keep them going.
Was it a tough decision to decide to get going again and to reopen, or, were you kind of like, no, we need to make this happen now?
It was a tough decision because, we're living in scary times at the moment. It's very difficult for everybody. So, but we couldn't stop everything. We had to keep on going. We had to. All my staff really wanted to come back into the place and stuff like that and start getting back to work. So, I made a decision that we had to just keep on doing what we got to do and keep serving that good food to the people. So.
Because I think initially, I suppose we were told we're only closing for 2 weeks, and it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's gone on and on. And I suppose what we're getting around the city and of the county of people is this is probably going to be the new norm for a while. So you kind of have to figure out a new business plan, really.
Oh yeah, we've had to completely change how we serve food, really, because people can't come to us anymore. So we have to start taking initiative to reach out to the people. So through delivery platforms, expanding on our new menus, just becoming more friendly to and relatable to the people, to be honest with you.
And how has the reaction been since you've opened your doors again?
Amazing, actually. Yeah. People really love the food. People are really positive about it. It's a great sense of community. People really like to order local now and stuff like that. So very, very, very good to see. So what can I say?
And what days of the week are you open?
We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, 4 to 9:30.
Absolutely incredible. I did actually get a delivery to my apartment. I do live within walking distance, but I decided I'm going to get a delivery, and I have to say it was just as good as it always is. I'm so happy to see you back open, and long may continue. Yeah,
thanks very much to everybody, the Limerick people, the frontliners, and thanks to Meghann and Keane spreading them good vibes throughout all this crazy time. So yeah, we're just going to keep on keep on doing what we got to do, and that's about it.
Super stuff. Thanks for chatting to us.
No worries. Keep safe, guys.
We were here at Terry Wogan only a couple of weeks ago when Ireland was still in lockdown, but as restrictions are eased and we're into phase 1, the sun is shining and more people are getting out. To read more about phase 1, head over to limerickpost.ie. For these stories and so much more, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully. This is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.